Oh my god. So we've got what everybody's been waiting for. Red Hood. Her stats are out, and obviously, as you guys can see, the same ranking that I gave her on my tier list is equivalent to what PRYDWEN gave her on the tier list. Well, not my tier list, but the community, right? SS in this tier list is equivalent to S tier in our tier list because they have triple S, we have SS and then S. They have triple S, then SS, then S. So yeah, as you guys see, once again, the community was correct. Our tier list is equivalent to their ranking here. But let's take a look. Let's see what they say about Red Hood, pros and cons. I'm curious, right? Because I think this is something that a lot of people needed to see, right? The one thing is that everybody takes PRYDWEN's word, like, you know, they take their word. So if PRYDWEN says they're good, everybody's gonna start saying they're good tomorrow, right? But let's see what PRYDWEN says about this Red Hood character. Make sure you guys subscribe and like. Let's go. So the only unit who can burst skill in any stages, that is a pro, right? That's something a lot of you guys forgot, I think. Can act as a DPS or a buffer, okay? Okay. Can convert excess charge damage into charge speed into charge damage, okay? Unconditional pierce, allowing her to deal much more damage against clustered mobs and parts. Very true. She dominates boss. If you guys used her in SI, you will notice she dominates all of them, literally. Possesses the highest attack buff in a burst when despite the 40-second cooldown. It's true. 77% of her attack is no joke, right? If she has 100k attack, 77% of that is going to all allies. It's crazy, right? Large pierce radius, hitting multiple mobs in close proximity has never been easier. Yeah. Has a taunt, a lifesteal, and HP potency for emergencies. I don't even know. I mean, I guess it would be an emergency. Let's say it's like somebody else is getting hit. The taunt will be useful, but you guys already know how I feel about the taunt mechanic. Damage reduction with a taunt, or I don't accept it, right? Not overload line, not overload line dependent. I don't know. Overload line? You mean overload gear? I don't know. Endless campaign and pilgrim tower potential. Okay. Let's see the cons. Burst skill has a 40-second cooldown even when you use in burst 1 or 2, except for the first activation. And that's the one thing I've been saying, right? If they are going to buff this character, at least the burst 1. Just change it, right? We're right here where it says cooldown of burst skills 40 seconds, activates once per battle. Remove activates once per battle and change 40 seconds to 20 seconds. Because then by doing that, you're able to spam her burst 1 every burst rotation. But if you still want to use her as a burst 3 DPS, you could just wait the 40 seconds and use her burst 3. That's how I see it. As an anniversary pilgrim unit, her DPS is unsatisfactory. Especially when she cannot hit multiple mobs or powers at once. Her burst skill in stage 2 requires her to also use burst stage and stage 3 in the same rotation. Else it may backfire. The zoom in scope during burst skill may make it harder to spot out of reach enemies if manually controlled. Skill investment dependent, heavenly. And pilgrim unit obtaining outside special banners is luck dependent. Not necessarily a con. I mean, it is, but like not something that hurts the unit, I guess. But yeah, I mean, literally, I guess their pros and cons is just what everybody's been saying, right? Surprisingly, usually, like when they have pros and cons, they like PRYDWEN always gets something else that people don't really realize. But their pros and cons are just everything that we've been saying, right? Clearly. So actually, if you guys go here, right, you guys let me know about this last time. They started doing this where, you know, they give a full-blown kit analysis. Now, obviously, God knows I'm not reading all of this, right? I'm sorry, right? At least not in this video. But here are some team compositions they gave. So Bunny Girls, well, yeah. And then Flex Unit, Blanc, yeah. So, okay. So first team they give out is Bunny Girls, right? You use her with Bunny Girls in another burst 3. Basically, Bunny Girls or Schoolgirls in another burst 3. Basically what we've been saying. This team is pretty interesting. Burst 1 or 3, or 1, 2, 3. You have another burst 1 being either another 40-second burst 1 character, I assume, and then you can have a burst 2, a burst 3, and a burst 3, right? So you use her as a burst 1, basically, essentially. I guess they're saying burst 1, 2, 3 because that's what she is. But you use her as a burst 1. She's on a 40-second cooldown. You use another burst 1, and then a burst 2, burst 3, burst 3. Let me just see what this is. As support is underrated. She provides immense tag. But you wouldn't want it like this, though. Right? Would you? Would you want it like that? I guess you would, because then it would use her burst skill, then her burst skill, and then another burst one. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. As long as Red Hood is like using all her burst skills at once, then sure. But if you are gonna run it like this and you want her to like just use her burst 1 but not her burst 3, you would need to have the burst 3 units before her. So you would need to have, if you wanted to just use her burst 1, it would be burst 3, burst 3, burst 2, then her as the first burst 1, and then her as the other burst 1 as the second unit. That's how it should be. If you wanted to just use her as a burst 1 on auto, right? It would be burst 3, burst 3, burst 2, then burst 3, then burst 1, then Red Hood basically, and then another burst 1, right? Team 4, okay, Team 4, new special interception, one-shot team. Previous Red Hood used to be Miranda. Now she'll take over her spot, period. Okay, so you have Tia, then another burst 1, which is Red Hood, then you have the burst 2. But again, if you're playing on auto, then it's like, you know how it goes. You have to have these characters above. You're playing manually, you can set it up like these, right? So these are some team comps. Essentially, this team right here I never mentioned once in my videos, but these 3 teams I mentioned multiple times in my videos. I actually mentioned this team right here with the burst 1, burst 1, burst 2, burst 3, before she actually dropped, and then these teams I also mentioned when she before she dropped. So yeah, I mean, PRYDWEN. Let's see. So this is all the stuff that like comes with like skill investments, cube investments, right? If max ammo is less than 10, resilience is best. I've said that and all this stuff. Like I don't want to like go over all this in my video because it's too much, and I feel like let me read it first, and then I'll pause it. Okay, okay, yeah. They damn near just said, okay, I mean, it's fine, obviously, because it's like, it's what we expected from this, at least, I hope so, but they're just basically saying what you've been hearing the entire time, right, from either myself or multiple other content creators, right. I know what although she doesn't do insane damage, it doesn't really change the fact that she's still a pretty good character. Obviously not anniversary level, but yeah, right, especially with the gear, right, same thing, gear stats, you probably heard from myself and other content creators, right? You want to go full charge route, low ammo capacity, charge speed combined with base shot. Well, this is gear investments, and then quick scope, high ammo capacity fused in with resilience. Well, this is like the cube and stuff like that. But then here are the stuff. Elemental damage is useful. Attack and then ammo capacity, or of course, where is it? Charge speed right here, right? So it's really as simple as that. But yeah, PRYDWEN, ranks her again where we ranked her on our community tier list. So SS tier. SS tier would be equivalent to S tier on our tier list, right? Because remember, they have 3 S tier lists. That's the one thing I don't understand. Why they have a triple S and then an SS like this. They have triple S, then SS, then S. It's fine at the end of the day, but yeah, you can see second highest tier, paired up with Rapunzel, paired up with but she didn't make triple S in anything, surprisingly. And I wanted to wait until solo raid, and I'm still going to, right, before I make the before I put out the live stream of us ranking the top 10 units, because right now against bosses, I want to say, besides obviously any like story boss or anything like that, special interception is like the only boss we've been fighting, and she dominates in special interception. She really does. She really does dominate in special interception, but I don't know how she's going to perform against actual bosses, hence why I wanted to wait until the 9th to really give you guys how good she is against bosses. But the fact that she didn't make triple S anywhere is laughable, right? Because even still, Rapunzel has more, like, this is laughable. Not to, like, PRYDWEN, but the character. This is the anniversary pilgrim, the strongest Nikke, right? Okay. You guys let me know what you think, bro. Doesn't really change much. Even a niece, it's hot. Like, I'm telling you guys, bro. Hey, you guys let me know what you think. It's your boy Zxous, and yeah, basically what y'all been hearing this whole time, nothing really has changed, right? Of course, I'm not gonna read all this for you because it's gonna be too long, and it's at 9 o'clock. No, it's 7 o'clock. I'm trying to sleep, but yeah, unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Let me know what you think, and hope she'll get a buff. I'm sure when she gets a buff, this will be fixed from everybody. Not only PRYDWEN, everybody will fix their stuff. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace. Subscribe.